that really gets you going at the start, but you can't last forever on motivation. Discipline is the big one. I am Josh from the Crypto World YouTube channel. I post crypto videos every single day on what the prices are doing, specifically Bitcoin and Ethereum, and sometimes coins can here and there. To become a crypto influencer, there's definitely a lot of work involved, a lot of research even before making the videos. So, for example, before I YouTube channel on crypto, I had years worth of research in crypto to get to the point where I was comfortable sharing my knowledge with other people. I actually had a YouTube channel back in 2015, and I wanted to be a YouTuber even before I found out about crypto, and on that channel of course, posted some vlogs, I posted some gaming videos, just anything that I enjoyed watching. A time went back when I was in school, then that channel didn't really work out as planned. And then I focused more on my senior years at school. It was kind of during that same time I discovered Bitcoin and the crypto world at the end of 2020 after doing 2 years worth of research every single day in crypto. I was comfortable sharing my knowledge on a YouTube channel doing crypto videos because when I first got into crypto back in 2017 there was almost no crypto YouTube channels, so learning information about crypto, nowadays there's a lot of information out there on crypto to start off with and learn crypto content, and that's one of the things that I try and do every single day. Just put that content out there, especially for the newcomers, make the beginner mistakes that I've gone through, and they can learn through my mistakes. After school at the end of 2018, leading into high school, I just got a casual job at a bakery, so I was pretty much the bottom in terms of the workforce. I was serving coffee, I was wiping tables, mopping floors, and it was in that job I realized there's no way I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life, so that almost acted as a big motivator for me to go and do something more. I actually ended up sticking in that job for around 2 years, so it was the end of 2020, just before I started my crypto channel. I got a job at a bank actually, so I was a bank teller. I was doing customer service, deposits, withdrawals, all of that sort of thing, and that's when I got more of a taste of the finance world and how money works and how banks work. I would basically be working a full-time job and then researching a lot about crypto and money and all of that. At the end of 2020, I was still working my full-time job at the bank, and at the same time, I started the crypto YouTube channel Crypto World, so that was probably the most difficult time period of working a full-time job and doing 1 video a day first of all. But then, I began uploading 2 videos every single day, which is what I'm doing right now. My main drivers is, as I mentioned, I really did not enjoy my first job at the bakery, and then I basically have kept that motivation the whole way because I've made a promise to myself. I'm never going to go back and working, a regular job for a boss, and because I want to be on my own terms, I want to be free, so that's one of my main motivations. Another motivation is the fact that I was in the job at the bank, but at the same time there was other banks that were limiting hours because, as you know, everything's moving digital, even banking, everything's going to online banking. So with my job as a bank teller, just handling cash in a physical bank branch, those jobs began declining. And then at the same time, while I was working that job, because of all of the research I was doing in crypto, I saw something that was still in its growth stage. It's taking over for me. It made logical sense to go and put in the extra time, the extra effort to really make something out of crypto, instead of just being comfortable with the banking system, because I knew if I was going to be comfortable with the banking system, it's inevitable at some stage I was probably going to lose my job, or it's just going to, slowly decline, and I don't want to be on the forefront of growth. Some of the pros of being a crypto influencer is the fact that you can set your own work hours. You don't have to come into work, spend a bit of time with friends, and the fact that it's all digital, you can go anywhere in the world. You can just take a laptop with you and keep on working. You can keep on while traveling the world, and on top of that, in terms of the money you can make through, it's not limited. You don't have a capped salary, so obviously that's definitely a big pro. When you first look at making YouTube videos, it seems very simple, but there's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes. Just from, first of all, a technical perspective, you need to get good equipment, good camera, good audio, and then beyond that, you need to stay consistent. You need to research many different things like optimization, how to make good thumbnails. There's a lot of little fine details that a lot of people don't even realize are there, but once you start getting into it, you get to realize just how much involved in it. You still have to keep consistency, because growing on social media, because if you post maybe 3 videos in one day, then post again for a month, your channel will die, so you need to keep the consistent videos coming out, so it's motivation that really gets you going at the start, but you can't last forever on motivation. Discipline is the big one, I'll say, definitely in the first part of being an influencer. That's the most lonely when you're starting out. A lot of your current friends are probably not going to be doing the same thing. It's definitely a lonely stage because just sacrifice a lot of the time where you'll normally hang out with friends. You'll normally hang out with family, so in that sense it can be very lonely. But once you start getting big enough in the influencer game, you get to find out other influences and collaborate with other influencers. The start is definitely the hardest, but once you begin, it only gets easier. From there, I'd say I probably wouldn't be an influencer today if I didn't have supportive parents. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to push back on it, because when I began making YouTube videos and wanting that as my full-time job, both of my parents said, no, you're not doing that. But then it was once I got to the stage where I started to earn a little bit of money, that was when they saw, okay, hold on, there's something more happening. They started to get on board with it. But with that being said, if you want something bad enough, you don't need people supporting you. You just go and make it happen yourself, and you will eventually find people that will support you. Yeah, so I get a few negative comments on my YouTube videos, but that comes with any YouTube video. That's just the nature of the internet. That's just the nature of social media. You just have to keep in mind, are you getting more negative comments than positive comments? You know the ratio. If you're only getting 100 positive comments, I don't even care at all about the negative comments. I do begin to care about the negative comments if there's a common theme, if there's a common trend. I love feedback, even if it's negative feedback, but in terms of just negative comments by themselves, personally, I just ignore them because it's all part of the game. And if you're concentrating too much on that, it's just going to bring you down and going to demotivate you. So if I was talking to my younger self, I would say start sooner on the entrepreneur journey, on the influencer journey, because everything you do with influencing, everything you do with investing, it's all compounding at the start. There's almost no returns, but as the years go by, all of your investments, all of your followers compounds. It's all compounding growth, which means the earlier you start, the bigger you're going to get. But it's not just linear, it's exponential. So my top 3 exchanges that I use every single day, first of all, I use Bybit. So Bybit I use to trade a smaller portion of my portfolio, but then I also use the spot trading function quite a lot for different altcoins that I might want to invest in, because it's got a lot of different tools and products. Another exchange that I use is just a small Australian exchange, which is CoinSpot. That's basically an exchange that I used to first get into crypto back in 2017, before Bybit was actually around. So yeah, I bought my first lot of Bitcoin on that exchange. So I see my channel growing in the future pretty well. My channel's growth is very correlated to how something like Bitcoin is performing. So for example, if Bitcoin's at all-time highs, will grow very fast, whereas if Bitcoin is down 50 from the all-time high, growth will slow a little bit. And that makes sense. I'm looking to move further into other forms of content. It could be other sectors of crypto, or even other sectors of finance like the stock market, or other things, to diversify my content so that my channel can continue to. That's going to be my focus moving forward in the coming years. Yeah, to make it in this game, you have to work hard. There's no easy way around it. There's no shortcuts. If you take a shortcut, it might work well in the short term, but it won't work in the long term. So if you want to make a long-term career out of this, you really have to put in the work. And on top of working hard, you also need to work smart. So you need to combine those two factors together to really gain success in the crypto world.